Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater here with an oh my god story. Now, I want to be abundantly clear up front and say I don't know if this is real. I don't know how true this is. I don't know anything. But if it is to be believed, if it is to be conceived as true, it goes to show you that the Snyder Cut movement has actually been in play for quite some time, as other, and you could kind of say, companies have been interested in bringing it to light. I know, bit of a bombshell. So let's take a look here at what I'm talking about. So over on the LightCast Pod, which, as a quick thing, I will be on there. My interview with Matt is going to premiere on May the 4th. So look for that. I'll be tweeting about it. Now, he says here, during a Q&A with the Cultured Nerds Taylor Murphy, he accidentally let it slip that Netflix was attempting to get the rights to the Zack Snyder Justice League, but Warner Brothers decided against it. And he clipped this 2-minute segment, which, give that a listen right now.
Have a Netflix account. They're gonna use
Netflix has tried. Like, Netflix has actually tried to talk to WB about getting the Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers declined that. So that tells you that that tells you two things. Either A, they don't like money and they just don't want the movie to ever come out, or B, they have their own plans for its release.
So hold on.
So
did we talk about this before? Are you telling me that Netflix offered to buy the Snyder Cut from Warner Brothers?
I don't think I've ever actually mentioned that. No, they when Zack came in and making Army of the Dead, and they heard about the movement, they went out of their way saying, "Hey,
hold on, Taylor, we're supposed to be friends, man. We're supposed to be friends. You haven't told me this."
I don't tell people a lot of things. I feel like this is the most natural way of bringing that to light.
My heart was like Netflix, doing this right now. I was about to jump on Netflix and cancel this stream.
No, Netflix wanted to do it. Netflix, they found, because honestly, it for Netflix, for instance, it would be cheaper for Netflix to buy a half-completed movie and then complete it than it would be to do it from scratch. So for them, it was a very obvious, easy option to, hey, can we make this happen? WB said no. But I honestly thought that was more common knowledge, because I thought someone talked about that like a year ago. But I don't remember the conversation I had about this and who it was with. Maybe it was something more private and privy.
Well, it's not private anymore, bro. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
This is what happens. We can't
could have
screen this.
I could have sworn this was something that was common knowledge like a year and a half ago.
I don't think it was.
Fascinating, isn't it? So let's kind of dissect what Taylor here said. According to him, while they were in talks to move Army of the Dead from Warner Brothers over to Netflix, Netflix had basically opened up the conversation about getting the rights to the Snyder Cut while they were at it. And this does seem to make a fair amount of sense given where things were at the time. So we have to also go back and look here that this is from 2019, January 2019. Zack Snyder returning to movies with zombie action pick Army of the Dead. And this was when it was formally announced that they were going to be moving the project over from Warner Brothers to Netflix. It means the conversations were happening in 2018. And in 2018, we had the birth, really, of the Snyder Cut movement. I think it started in 2017 ultimately, but it got to a roaring start in 2018. And that would mean if Netflix was paying attention, because this is a lot of what Netflix does. They do look to see what shows and what properties are talked about on social media. And they were, remember at the time, going through quite a number of different properties and picking them up to continue them, like Fuller House, for example, or Designated Survivor, or Lucifer, which is a Vertigo comic that is also owned by DC, therefore Warner Brothers, and now AT&T. And it's possible that during that time frame, they were looking to also acquire the rights to the Justice League, because they knew the movie was coming out. They knew that they knew the movie had come out. They knew that people wanted to see it. And if it was only a minimal enough investment to get the rights to go back and finish it, why not do it? I mean, they're spending $15 billion in content. That is a game changer for them in regards to content. And at the end of 2018, when these talks would have been happening, that was also at the time when they were breaking off all contact with Marvel. Remember, it was in the fall of 2018 that Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil were both canceled, leading into the beginning of 2019 when both The Punisher and Jessica Jones were officially canceled, severing all ties between Netflix and Marvel around that time. So why not look to Warner Brothers to get that kind of content? And this is, again, right around the time DC Universe was coming out, which I think would have been probably the better place for it, if I'm being honest. But this is also around the time that AT&T was trying to negotiate for the purchase of Time Warner and going through all the hurdles with the FCC and everything. I think, and also the FTC, my bad. I think it's the FTC. So during that time, it's possible Netflix would have brought up the idea as maybe a package deal. Like, look, we will buy the rights for Army of the Dead, but why don't we also talk about this Snyder Cut situation? And why don't we look to bring Snyder Cut over to Netflix, which would do well for us, and the fact that we don't have original comic book based content coming as rapidly as some people would like. I mean, they do have more things now. They have the deal with Millar World where they bought that outright, so they've got access to all those properties, and they have a deal with Dark Horse through Umbrella Academy, and I just think an overall development deal with Dark Horse, and they did Lock and Key, so they are doing a lot of content that is going to be comic book and graphic novel based, but you could tell that they really do want to take on Disney a bit, and I think that the Snyder Cut would be a good way of doing that. It would really show that it's artistically driven. Now, I have no way of knowing how much of this is true. I have no way of knowing how much of this is factual. The Uncultured Nerd has dropped a few scoops that have come true before, and he is a growing entity in this particular world. And so at this point, I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt and go, look, grain of salt it, but looking at everything I know about how Netflix operates and how much money they spend on content and the scattershot effect they use in order to acquire that content and release said content, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility while negotiating with Warner's, of which they had plenty of Warner Brothers content already on Netflix, to just go the route and pick up this film at the same time. We'll have to wait and see if there's any more developments on this, if anyone ever comes out and gives us more details. But for right now, that's just what's been said, and that's some pretty big information. Now, I'm going to link to the full podcast with Taylor Murphy and Matt from the LightCast, and you guys can give that a listen. And also be sure to tune in on Monday for when I speak with them. I think for a good hour and a half, we had a conversation. It was a good talk. So I look forward to your thoughts on that one. I'll see you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Please be sure to hit that like. Please be sure to hit that subscribe, hit that bell. And if you want to support the channel, become a member, because right now everything is dead except the Snyder Cut movement, which is alive and well and kicking some serious ass and taking names. So there we go on that one. All right, everyone, have yourself a great day and peace out.